Telugu-speaking states, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, is that we should become pioneers in developing technology. For instance, the other day at the IIIT we had an annual event called as R&D Showcase, and also another program called Excitement of Research. Our director and a group in Center for Visual Information Technology with faculty members like Dr. Anup, Dr. Zawahar and others, they developed, or to my mind they pioneered something called as a panoramic camera. So what this camera does is, normally with a ordinary digital cameras or cameras on smartphones, you can take a picture in 2 dimensions. But what this panoramic camera does is, it enables a 360-degree view of the scene under consideration. So basically, you all have listened to earlier speakers and you have some familiarity, and there will be some few initial slides where we kind of introduce the idea of Internet of Things. Normally, is there a definition of Internet of Things? The answer is there is no definition. Okay? Let us kind of spend some time with some very few basic questions. Internet was a vision of something called as a DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and DARPA pioneered the development of Internet. They would have never expected that the Internet will grow to the current size it is across the world. Okay? Now, so basically first question is, how many bytes is an IP address? IPv4, how many bytes is IPv4? 4 bytes or 32 bits. Okay? Now given that you have that information, here is the outline of the top. What is the vision of Internet of Things? Most of you possibly have known some idea about the vision of Internet of Things, the definition of Internet of Things, and normally when you ask for a definition, different people give different definitions. Suppose you ask, let us say, what is cloud computing? You get different answers from different people. There are various challenges. There are various challenges in the design of IoT. Particularly one of the most crucial challenges is security in IoT. Evolution and status of Internet of Things, role of Internet society, realization of IoT, IoT and related technologies, and why fog computing. Maybe a year ago I came here to give a lecture on fog computing. How many of you know what fog computing is? Raise your hands. Apparently nobody. Okay, so maybe a few of you. Okay? Because they attended the earlier talks or they know about it. There are several other issues in the design of IoT. Normally, when you want to design an IoT, there are several considerations in the design of Internet of Things, fog computing and Internet of Things. Okay? Now, historically, whatever technology you are talking would not have been possible if Graham Bell didn't invent telephone. Okay. To the best of my knowledge, the very first transducer or the word sensor comes from the idea of a telephone. Basically, in telephone, you have a bunch of sound waves and you convert the sound waves into electrical waves and send them over wires. So that is the vision of or realization of telephone. and landline telephone took off, and then there was a question whether the electrical waves could be transmitted without wires, or electromagnetic waves could be transmitted without wires. And all of you nowadays, 15 years ago, if you said telephone, cell phone, nobody would have known what cell phone is. So on this, you must necessarily have a telephone, right? And added to that, you need a radio. You need a radio so that you can transmit, you can receive. And sophisticated smartphones have lots of other features. So the idea of sensors really took off. The idea of wired sensors had lots of commercial applications in process control, in many things. Okay. Now, is this a wireless sensor or no? It's a wireless sensor. Now, you have a network of wireless sensors, or wireless sensor network. In this case, the sensor converts sound waves into electromagnetic waves, okay, in this kind of a sensor. This sensor technology, cell phone technology, became a huge commercial success. We started with 1G, we went to 2G, we went to 3G, 4G, and now 5G. So the technology really took off. Normally, to your information, somebody starts with a fictional imagination of something could be done. Okay. Now, once you have that kind of a vision, then you look for a principle to make it happen. Let us say, a fellow called Arthur Clarke, he predicted that we can put satellites in the geosynchronous orbit and we can enable worldwide communication. So the Russians, what did the Russians do? The Russians were able to think of a principle to launch a satellite against the gravitational pull of the Earth. Yeah. Now you can remember, it is not as simple as you might think. India became very successful in satellite launch vehicle, polar satellite launch vehicle, and geosynchronous launch vehicle, GSLV. Now a country like South Korea has been trying for the past 25 years. Every time they tried launching a satellite or they tried sending a rocket, it was falling in the ocean. Now, so why I told that is, when a technology starts to mature, first it takes off and then there is a hype created, and sometimes it doesn't take off, it dies down. Or technology takes off and it kinds of takes off and it keeps growing, like cell phone technology. Now, why cell phone technology is, IoT is a much larger version of wireless sensor network. Basically, you have all sorts of sensors which are connected to the internet. Okay? Now, the vision of Internet of Things is, it promises to transform the way we live, we work, and we play. IoT offers impressive benefits but presents significant challenges. Now listen, net banking and cyber space related technologies. Remember that cyber crimes are increasingly taking place and people are sometimes losing a lot of money from their bank accounts. So the cautionary word is, if we don't use IoT properly, we run into a lot of problems that we never expected. So there are various challenges that are inherent in the design and implementation of IoT. The goal is understanding the issues and challenges of a more connected world. You remember, this fellow Zuckerberg was possibly unemployed. He was looking for a job. He sat down and he developed the back end. He developed the front end. He got this idea of Facebook, and everybody has a Facebook account. Okay. Just like social networks like Twitter and other things. Okay. So the point is, you could be one of the Zuckerbergs if you invent a technology that everybody on the world uses. And the technologies or services are based on their connection to the internet. You can reach out to vast number of people by just sitting in your little house apartment. Okay. So, yeah. So, in some sense of the word, the IoT will present significant challenges if we are not careful. So, current IoT, current internet is IPv4 version, and future version is IPv6. How many bytes an address is in IPv6? Huh? How many? 128 bits. How many addresses are possible? 2 power 128. Now, I'm sure in your computer rooms, you have an Ethernet. How many bits is an Ethernet address? How many bits is an Ethernet address? 48. So, the number of Ethernet cards that you can have is about 2 power 48 minus 1 or 2 power 48. So, that's a huge address space. And that address is selected keeping in mind the future expansion. Okay, and why we need such a huge address, we'll come to know in a minute. Near the end of first decade of this century, internet milestone, number of internet connected devices surpassed the number of people alive on the planet Earth. Okay, so at the same time, at that time, 7 billion devices are already connected to the internet. These are some statistics. It went unnoticed by many people. People didn't know that that many devices were connected to the internet. Along with the explosion of mobile phones and tablets, we have the explosion of mobile phones and tablet PCs. The movement marked the rise of what we now call the Internet of Things. So things are devices of all types, connected and kinds ranging from consumer products, your laptops, your cell phones, your geyser, your refrigerator, all sorts of devices will be connected to the internet, durable goods, cars, trucks, industrial and utility components, sensors and everyday objects. All of these will be connected to the future internet. Now, there is a technology called intelligent transportation systems. Normally, when you navigate in a city, typically you try to take the shortest route. What is the disadvantages of taking a shortest route from a particular source to destination? What is the disadvantage? Like, let me ask you, in a wired network, okay, when you want to do, you represent a wired network by a graph. When you represent it by a graph, what is the routing algorithm that is normally employed? What is the routing algorithm? Shortest path routing. Now, there is a problem with shortest path routing. What is the problem? It's greedy. The point is, suppose everybody uses the same shortest path, there will be a congestion on it. Okay. Now, the future technology is, you want to take off from here to Vizag. There are several different routes. So on your cell phone you can see which route is most crowded which route is relatively less crowded. All this information you can see by using the smartphone. Okay? The things are configured to connect to each other. They are connected to each other and also to the internet itself, combining the native abilities of devices and with enormous data analytic and cloud resources available online. Remember, once you have the cloud, there is huge amount of computing ability. Once you are connected to the internet, you can reach somebody at a vast distance from here within a matter of minutes. Okay, so it's a kind of a very, very important technology. Now remember, some technologies are disruptive. The morning lecture, the fellow was giving an indication. The point is, you want to keep in mind that with postal mail, people used to communicate with each other. Once email came, or Gmail or whatever mail, what is happening is the post office people are losing their jobs. So those are called disruptive technologies. They affect livelihood of people. And in some countries, there is a legislation to enforce that even if the technology is feasible, it won't be allowed, given a license. And I am cautioning you, IoT in some forms could be a disruptive technology. Okay? The scale of growth of IoT devices is expected to be unprecedented, with the estimates topping 100 billion devices in service over the next decade. 100 billion devices will be connected to the internet. The IoT devices have the potential to impact us in everyday aspects of our daily lives. The previous speaker was giving some very, very commonplace examples. What do we achieve? But what I want to tell you is, you know how to connect to the internet, but if somebody misuses, then there will be lots of problems that you would have never expected. Okay? The new possibilities are emerging each day as new technologies make it even easier to connect more things to the internet. Okay? Now, definition. To understand the opportunities and challenges associated with the Internet of Things, there is something called Internet Society. It released a document called as Internet of Things in Overview. On Google, if you type this, you can get portions of it. Okay? Understanding the issues and challenges of a more connected world. It is an information resource about IoT and launching point for further discussions. Now, every one of you could be involved in the Internet Society. Really have some genuine suggestions the society is willing to accept it. A white paper begins with an overview of technologies that enable IoT and then explores the challenges of defining what Internet of Things is. In the morning, the person was telling about Internet of Everything. Much like the challenge of defining cloud computing, different vendors and providers in this space all offer their own definitions of what is IoT all about. Different vendors, remember, when a technology is taking off, at the end of the day, things are linked to money. When things are linked to money, multiple competitors who can enable IoT, they want their own products to take off in the market. So to control this, what most technologies have is what's called standardization. Your USB port must be standardized so that somebody from other part of the world can insert his pen drive into your USB port. So there is a question of standardization. Careful examination leads to the conclusion that IoT can mean different things to different people. Challenges in the design of IoT. This is the main slide. I want everybody to pay attention. Compared to earlier talks, now it is like cyber security. If you are careless, things will terribly go wrong. It's great to be connecting all devices to the internet, but suppose somebody can tap into your house. He knows what is there in your house and he can access it. Okay. Now you can look up, if your house is connected to IoT, you can just look up from your, so remember, whether you have a smartphone or a dumb phone, this will be an IoT device. It will be, as far as my imagination goes, this will be at least one of the IoT devices, because so much computing power, so much networking power is available with your cell phone. Security, as in the case of cyber security. Privacy, as I told you, lots of things, if information is directly connected to the internet, then your privacy is at stake. Lot of private information could get leaked very quickly. Interoperability and standards. That is, if IoT devices are being manufactured by governments in various countries, there has to be what's called interoperability. The devices should be interoperable, and there is a question of standards. So what should be the standard? See, remember, most of the technologies, the companies which push the technology, they try to dominate the standards because they want their products to take off. And this is a fact of life. Either Microsoft or Google or some other. Now remember, Google did something called Google Glass, and Google Glass never took off because it had some problems with respect to maintaining the privacy. Legal and regulatory and rights. There are legal issues, and who is to be blamed? Suppose somebody withdraws a lot of money from my bank account without my permission. Is the bank held responsible or no? So there are a lot of legal issues, there are a lot of regulatory issues, and there are a lot of issues related to who has the rights. And emerging economies and development. So there are several emerging economies, and all of these emerging economies, they have their stake in Internet of everything or Internet of things, because it is a technology which will have huge market across the world, and everybody wants part of the pie. And from India, what you can do would be to understand, to develop an IoT device, or as the other fellow was saying, you develop a mobile app, and with the mobile app you can do lots of things when that mobile app can be connected to the internet. Okay? Challenges in the design of IoT. Each issue area is highlighted. Remember, I told you the document. If you go to the document, it's a very huge document. Lots of issues are being debated. See, normally when a technology takes off, lots of people, experts, will be asked to give their inputs to what can go wrong, what is the problem, how should we develop the standard, how should we develop the regulatory issues, and so on and so forth. Existing challenges and questions are raised in order to advance dialogue on developing solutions to current and future challenges. Okay. So the point that you must underline is advanced dialogue on developing solutions to current and future challenges. Now, you can give a very simple suggestion. Do some kind of encryption. Okay. Now, the other day I was talking to somebody, you have this WhatsApp, and WhatsApp is now allowing your information to be encrypted. So by standard encryption scheme, you can achieve fairly good amount of security. Or unless you are very paranoid, from your mobile you can make payments. And remember, the kind of encryption used is so powerful that the fellow has to take 10 years to decrypt what you are transacting in a matter of half an hour or so. So it is kind of, you can't be paranoid. When you want to use any technology, you can't be paranoid, but you got to be careful. The other challenge is 2 power 128 minus 1 addresses. In IPv4, how many types of addresses are there? In IPv4, Class A, Class B, Class D. So those are the types of addresses. Now when you take it and you have domain names, .gov, .com, .in, for every country, you have various types of domain name system. When it is 128 bits, how do we partition this address space? Now it is not trivial to keep in mind that everybody wants to be connected to the internet. You want to connect your own home, you want to connect your hospital, you want to connect your restaurant, you want to connect your hotel, and so on and so forth. You want to connect your hostels. Everything wants to be connected to internet. So does the domain name have something like hospital, restaurant? It's hard to tell. What shape this addressing scheme will take cannot be predicted now, and people are debating how to do the partitioning of the address space and utilization. Different architectural connectivity models that are emerging for IoT devices. So there are different architectural connectivity models that are emerging. That is, how do we connect these devices to the internet? So the main word here is architectural connectivity models. Security in IoT. Security in the IoT is perhaps the most significant challenge, and ensuring security in IoT must be a fundamental priority. Just like you have network security, you have IoT security. It's a very, very important challenge. So what can go wrong? Poorly secured IoT devices. You will have IoT devices and you have some services. IoT-based services can serve as potential entry points for a cyber attack and expose your user data to theft by leaving data streams to be inadequately protected. So keep this in mind. So to be honest with you, this is the most important slide in my presentation. Poorly secured devices can serve as entry points for a cyber attack, and they can expose your data to theft by leaving the data streams inadequately protected. Proliferation of purely secure devices. So that is a company, say any company who are into IoT business, what they want their product to be sold, they want their product to be utilized. But the point is, when you proliferate so many devices which are poorly secured, they have the potential to impact the security and resilience of internet globally. That is, when these devices are poorly secured, they will lead to a lot of problems which you didn't expect. Okay? And I don't know whether you know there is something called hacking. So once you have this internet, somebody can hack into your system and find out what you are doing. Now, there is a subject called ethical hacking. Subject called ethical hacking. Now, the point is, governments is paid money by the government to try to hack in It's an ethical hacking. Security in IoT. In order for IoT to be successful, users will need to trust that devices and related data services are secured from vulnerabilities. It's a very important assurance that IoT must give. See, remember, there are legal issues. The people who enabled IoT, they raise their hands. We are not responsible. Okay? And when you do something on internet, it is a best effort service. This is all we can do. Okay. So, in order for IoT to be successful, user will need to trust those IoT devices and related data services are secure from vulnerabilities, especially as this technology becomes more pervasive and integrated into our daily lives. Okay, I think I am belaboring the point. This is the main issue that I wanted to highlight. Does anybody know what is spoofing? What is IP spoofing? Huh? IP spoofing, what is it?
Identity disclosure.
Identity, like I want to act as this person. Suppose I want to send some message to somebody, okay? I want to do it in such a way that that person thinks this person is communicating with him. So spoofing attacks are very, very difficult sometimes to detect. Now, some time ago in our lab at IIIT, we were successfully able to do IP spoofing. And we thought spoofing the MAC address will not be very easy, but it can be done. The next one is denial of service attacks. Okay, I'm sure you heard of denial of service attacks. Suppose this person wants to communicate with lots of other people using internet. I just keep flood this email with lots and lots of messages so that he is denied service. Evolution and status of IoT. While many unanswered questions remain, the fact is that Internet of Things is happening now. Just like any technology, there are lots of concerns, but it is kind of evolving and it is here and it will be here. More IoT devices are being put into service every day. Just like the person in the morning who was giving a lecture on lots and lots of IoT devices, they are being put into service every day. What does the white paper do? It aims to raise the level of discussion around the issues and the challenges identified while acknowledging the evolving landscape. The point is, we are not paranoid. That is, let IoT evolve. But let us discuss what sort of things can go wrong, or you demonstrate that, look, if you design IoT this way, then I can spoof him. I can find out what is happening in your bank account. I can find out what is happening in the government. I can find out what is happening in the Supreme Court. Follow me? So, these are some privacy issues, some security issues. We can't be too paranoid. That's why the sentence is the evolving landscape. The landscape is evolving, but we want to make sure that we understand the issues and challenges. Role of Internet society, realization of IoT. Internet society believes that it will make informed engagement, dialogue and collaboration across a range of stakeholders to plot the most effective ways forward to maximize the benefits of IoT and meet its challenges. So it is kind of happening, and if we collaborate together, the IoT can play a significant role in enabling the Internet of Opportunity we all see. See, the wonderful things the person was saying in the morning related to small houses, small household, about your gas, how much gas do you have in your, how much milk is there in your refrigerator, and you want to put an automatic request when the milk. So we are all looking forward to the internet of opportunity we all see. We must realize the benefits for individuals, for society and the economy. Now electronic commerce, e-commerce, and sometimes the farmer in his village, I'm sure you heard of Raitu Bazaar. Now across many cities there is a concept of Raitu Bazaar. But suppose the fellow sitting in his house in a small village, a farmer, can sell his produce through e-commerce, then we are all creating opportunities that will increase the quality of living, that will increase our economy, and so on and so forth. Now we come to a slide, and I don't know how many of you know some of these technologies. Fog computing, I'll come to that in a minute. Along with cloud computing, it doesn't replace cloud computing, but it complements cloud computing. Big data organization and analytics, audio and video databases. For instance, at airports, there are lots of security mechanisms to make sure that some illegal fellow doesn't, some terrorist doesn't enter the aircraft. Now, you have a concept of a video database. What you do is, you put all the images, photographs, or videos of criminals, put them in a database, and supply them to every airport in the world. If a terrorist is passing through an airport, it will quickly detect that this fellow is a terrorist. Now, another audio databases. See, being a computer science student, you all know relational databases, object-oriented databases, and so on and so forth. So the point is, in future, we will have what are called audio databases. Let us say, from a radio station, you want to play some songs, or these databases, they can be connected to the internet, and you can just make a request, I'll pay you this much money, can you play me this old song by Ghantasala? So you have a database of songs, and you can query the database, you can get the desired song and play it. Okay? Or suppose there is a huge organization. Now at the point of entry, you have some kind of authentication. Like you have either fingerprint-based authentication, iris-based authentication, or the authentication could be voice. The machine can recognize whose voice it is. Cyber physical system. Now, how many of you heard of cyber physical systems? See, this technology is, simplest way to explain cyber physical systems is, it is an integration of the physical world or physiological world and the cyber world. So what do we mean by that is, you have a wireless sensor network of wireless sensors. It is an example, it's an example of cyber physical system. The CPS is a umbrella technology which will encompass many other technologies. 5G and other advanced cellular networks. All these technologies that I listed, they are going to change the way IoT helps in daily life. Intelligent transportation systems. I just gave an example in the morning. Okay. So, something like, you have from your smartphone, you can find out where is the closest hospital. You can find out where is the closest restaurant. What are the routes there? Already, I'm sure you know Google Navigator. You want to go from some place to some other place, it will show you. But it can show you all the possible routes. It can also show you the congestion, which roads are highly congested. And smart areas, smart spaces, cities, districts, and smart states. Smart areas, I think one example could be in this room, auditorium, in this seminar room, When nobody is there, lights automatically shut off. The fans automatically go off. When you enter the room, automatically lights will come on. So that's an example of a smart space. Global cognitive radio. How many of you heard of cognitive radio? Raise your hands. Okay. Now, very quickly to give you an example is, there is only so much electromagnetic spectrum. And what is happening is, the wireless services and products, they are exponentially growing. So people came to a conclusion that someday we may run out of spectrum. That is, maybe there is no spectrum to accommodate all our wireless services and products. So what people did is, where is the real problem? The way the spectrum currently is regulated is, Airtel pays the government some amount of money and government gives a license. Radio stations get a license. Cell phone providers get a license. And TV stations get a license. Now, if in your electronics lab you build a FM radio at the same station as, let's say, VIZIANAGARAM radio station, and you operate your radio, police can put you in jail. Okay. So the point is, the spectrum is kind of licensed to various users. So in the current model, it is illegal for a secondary user to use the spectrum when the primary user is using, or it is currently totally illegal. Let us say there is a TV station and the station is not broadcasting. At that time, can somebody use that spectrum? Currently, people are moving into a model where when the primary user is not using the spectrum, the secondary user can use the spectrum. And normally I listen to songs, and Vivid Bharati as a radio station stops broadcasting at 11 o'clock in the night. From 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning, there are no transmissions. Now, with IoT explosion, lot of maintenance things which require electromagnetic spectrum could be scheduled between 11 and 6. So the spectrum which is going idle, nobody is using it. During that time, some of the IoT related communication activities can take place. Okay. But that doesn't totally solve. So global cognitive radio is, remember, time and space, they are not independent variables. Currently it is 12:30 in VIZIANAGARAM, whereas the time in some, let us say Japan, or some country like, let's say, Finland, it is a very different time. So can we use this fact that time and space, there are different time zones across the world? So can we capitalize the fact that vacant spectrum which is not being utilized, can be effectively utilized? And software defined networking. How many of you heard of SDN? Okay, remember, this is a topic which will haunt you in the next 4 or 5 years. What people are thinking is, when you devise networks, currently you have hardware routers, hardware switches, hardware hubs. The idea is, make the networking in software. So the switches will be in software, routers will be in software. So by just changing few parameters, you can enable a new network. So there is a concept called NFV, and I would like every one of you, when you go home, if you are not already familiar, these two topics will really haunt you. They are across the world. software defined networking, SDN. And there is another one called, how many of you heard of NFV? It's a related concept or idea. I'm sure most of you heard of virtual machines on the concept of virtualization with respect to operating systems. Now here the idea is the function of the network itself will be virtualized, and NFV and SDN have a lot to do with IoT. Why fog computing? First of all, what is fog computing? Cloud computing doesn't totally address the utilization of local resources such as memory, processors, local networks to meet the quality of service constraints required by some application. That is, in an IoT setting, in your home, in your campus, university, VIZIANAGARAM campus, you have some requirements. And if you want to send all the information to the cloud, whatever Amazon, Azure, or whatever cloud, you send the data to the cloud, computation takes place in the data center with lots of servers, and the results come to you. Maybe that is too late. That is, the amount of delay involved in getting the computation done over the cloud could be very, very late. Sometimes computed/communicated result is useless. So it will be totally useless unless it meets some delay constraint. Thus, we are led to fog computing dealing with organization of, so the idea of fog computing is cloud is over some large distance. Sometimes this word fog is also called edge computing, dealing with organization of local resources to meet the quality of service requirements of applications associated with IoT. So we have some quality of service constraints locally where IoT devices are there or things are there. Don't send the data to the cloud data center, do the computation locally, use the local resources properly. Fog computing quality of service measures for IoT based applications. The computational speed, the software, hardware limitations may be due to cost, could deal with organization of computing nodes. So there is a huge amount of local computational power. Your laptop, your smartphones, your local edge devices. Communication constraint, namely the delay involved. So many applications require a quality of service constraint on the data that will be delivered. Security and privacy offered. Maybe if you send the data over the cloud to the cloud data center, maybe your data is not secure. Maybe it doesn't meet the privacy constraints. Optimal and reliable control of cyber physical systems. So there are several cyber physical systems. IoT could essentially involve number of cyber physical systems. So how do we optimally and reliably control such cyber physical systems? Other issues in the design of Internet of Things. Misuse of IoT. I was all the time telling about the challenges involved in the design of IoT. Misuse of IoT and fog computing. That is, you don't need some computation to be done and you get the computation done locally. Right? Suppose somebody is, let us say you have a university, and within a university you have fog computing. Okay? And some data is very secure. and only the administration people are supposed to know that information. If you are doing the computation locally without any encryption, that data can be tampered by even any students or non-administrative professionals of the university. Integration of various wired, wireless and other types of networks with future internet. So what will happen is, currently various wired, wireless and other types of networks with the future internet. So coexistence of heterogeneous network technologies. Okay? Now, we also, that means lots and lots of local area networks, wired or wireless, will be integrated with the internet, thus leaving the situation to be tampered by unauthorized people. Doubly cognitive network architecture. So what is doubly cognitive? It's a research proposal we wrote some time ago. So what this doubly cognitive network architecture does is, normally when cognitive radio is done, the historical data is totally neglected. So what we proposed is, when you want to sense a spectrum for spectrum holes, I got to tell this information. I'm sure some of you heard of semantic web. Okay? Web mining data from social networks. All this data is coming from the internet. I am sure you heard of this. Challenges areas, big data issues. The data processed is extremely large and applications are data intensive. Applications from scientific to commercial, and 4 V's or 5 V's, emerging cloud computing critical to achieve highly efficient data storage. Hadoop, you have the distributed file system, then you have MapReduce for parallel computation, research into analysis of distributed file systems. This is a research problem. Strategies for effectively storing, caching and providing concurrent access to data in cloud environment. DFS, organization and querying the file system.
Sir, I have a doubt here.
Yeah.
Government of India already is taking the Aadhaar card, right?
Yeah.
So we have already the database. Now how the Aadhaar card will become the primary key? Already primary key is existing in the database.
Maybe you put a mapping between your Aadhaar number and the key.
So Aadhaar card number will become the foreign key.
No, see,
they are saying it's
no,
primary
the way they can identify you is using the Aadhaar card. And you say they have a key there.
Yeah.
That key is private, whereas your Aadhaar number is kind of public.
Already that is primary.
Even if it, do you know that key? Does everybody know that key?
No.
No. So that is meant to be secure. Alright, so those of you who are into, remember, IoT is going to generate tons and tons of data. And all the problems of big data are going to be more challenges for IoT, particularly real-time analytics. So recently there was a lot of activity on deep learning, convolutional neural networks and deep belief networks, support vector machines, artificial neural networks. So the problems in data science are, what data should be collected? These are non-trivial questions in a big data setting. What quantities you must look for in data? How to process and analyze the data in real time? How to present the results of processing the data? See, when you're getting so much information from a hospital, see, the doctor must be able to kind of quickly know what the problem is. I leave these presentations free, so if somebody wants the presentation, you can. Parametric modeling of data and Fields like biology, defense, astronomy generate very large data sets that could not be handled by traditional data mining tools. Mining data is complex and time consuming. Exact solutions to data mining problems are too time consuming, not possible in real time. You want an exact solution, it's not possible. Okay, so I think I'll stop here.